The fourth round of the South African National Rally Championship saw the drivers and their teams travel to Port Elizabeth for the Volkswagen Rally, brought to you by Volkswagen in a partnership with Dunlop, Ford and Toyota. This program is dedicated to the memory of multiple rally class champion Gugu Zulu. Gugu tragically passed away 2 days after the Volkswagen Rally whilst climbing Mount Kilimanjaro with his wife Tetsecho as part of the Trek for Mandela campaign. Gugu's infectious smile and gracious nature will be missed by the many whose lives he touched. Our thoughts are with Tetsecho, Lelotu and the Zulu family. The Eastern Cape has a 34-year love affair with the Volkswagen Rally, and it showed with the number of fans who lined the roads to watch the rallying action. From their factory in Uitenhage, Volkswagen produce 120,000 Polo and Polo Vivos per year, so it was fitting that VW Polos made up the majority of the start list. The fast and treacherous forest roads and rally-specific tracks of the Algoa Rally Club would provide the testing ground for another epic battle at the Volkswagen Rally. And after the deluge of 2015, all involved are all glad to note the largely clear weather forecast for the weekend's rallying. The cars assembled at Tavcor Volkswagen for scrutineering on Thursday evening, and there was clearly nervous tension in the air. Over the 34 runnings of the VW Rally, it's become the driver's favourite, but it's a rally they're cautious of too. The forest stages are fast and hard on the cars, and a mistake at the wrong moment could have catastrophic consequences.
Yeah, it's been a good start to the season for us, as you say. This is normally a difficult rally, so you we'd like to push here, but you also got to be careful. There's a lot of rocks out here, and it's really fast, this one, so it's something you got to be careful of.
Well, what I can tell you is that from a dealership perspective, we try and get our customers and our staff very involved in the rally, especially here at the scrutineering the night before, and getting our customers and staff to the event to actually enjoy the rally itself, and of course support the Volkswagens. We've even got some of our colleagues involved. One of our guys is racing, and our service staff are assisting in the pit crews as well, so it's going to be very exciting.
Prior to the ceremonial start, rally fans had the opportunity to wander through the Auto Pavilion, Volkswagen's motoring museum.
We've off a good run. We've won all the rallies so far this year, but going into the second half of the rally season, anything can happen, and especially in PE is a beautiful area, some fantastic roads, some of the best in the country I think, and I really enjoy it. But at the same time it's quite a dangerous rally, high speeds, and if you make a mistake you pay the ultimate price.
The reverie was soon over though, as the drivers prepared to be waved off by Thomas Schaffer, Chairman and Managing Director of VWSA, in the official start. Sweeping the road for the VW Rally was the Toyota Gazoo Racing Yaris of Leroy Poulter and Elvin Coetzee. Poulter and teammate Janelle de Villiers were clearly keen to impress. Leading the timesheets on stage one was Leroy Poulter, while de Villiers and his co-driver Carolyn Swan in the sister Toyota Gazoo Racing Yaris were 7 seconds slower. Behind the factory Toyotas was the Vecto Petroleum Toyota Yaris of Ernie van der Walt and Gerard Snyman. After a strong showing in Secunda, van der Walt seemed to be gaining in confidence. The final S2000 car was that of Luke Boerter and Barry White, driving a Force Fuel Ford. Boerter had crashed early on in Secunda and was driving within himself to preserve the car for later in the rally. In the S1600 class, the VW Rally started as the Secunda Rally had ended, with Guy Bottrell topping the timesheets with Simon Vasey-Lyle alongside him in the Yato Tools Toyota Etios. RC Potgieter and Tommy du Toit in the Lake Muzi VW Polo showed off their growing confidence and speed. On stage 1 they laid down a marker as Bottrell's closest rival for rally victory. Rallying to the third fastest time across the 11.6 kilometre stage was Andrew Hine and Lloyd Brady in the Hine Sport VW Polo. Hine's consistent approach appeared set to serve him well in PE. Stopping the clock with the fourth fastest time on stage 1 was the Manito VW Polo of Paulus Franken and Pierre Aris. The pair were Bottrell's closest rivals heading into the rally. Behind Franken, the ATS Ford Fiesta of Richard Leek and Henry Kierner was markedly off their usual pace. The ATS car suffered an engine mapping issue which would blight their entire rally. Setting the fifth fastest time of the S1600s on the opening stage was Chris Kutzer and Greg Godrich in the Electro Thread Toyota Etios as they eased into the VW Rally. After missing the Secunda Rally, Ashley Haig-Smith and Niall Burns in the AHS Racing Ford didn't enjoy a fortuitous return. A rock struck their fuel pump and cost them on their timesheets. In the Shield Car Care VW Polo was National Rally rookie George Smallberger and Chris Brand. Smallberger's aim for the VW Rally was to ensure he finished and scored points. On stage 2 of the VW Rally, the rocky tracks near PE Oval provided a stern 14.5 kilometre test for all the cars. The S2000s, with their four-wheel drive and longer suspension travel, proved better adapted to soaking up the hits, as one would expect. Leroy Poulter put in another smooth drive, gaining 2 seconds on Janelle de Villiers.
Not too bad. The first one was a great wake-up after 2 months. You know, you get into a car, you start reading notes with such a tight space, you know. But it went very quickly, so it was good. The second stage, not too bad. A little bit of a slip and slide, but it was okay.
Behind the factory Toyotas, Ernie van der Walt was struggling slightly for power and finished 30 seconds down on the stage winner. Luke Buerter, meanwhile, was further off the pace in fourth. While the S2000 cars were making a strong start to the rally, the S1600s provided all the drama on stage 2. The stage was won by a smooth-driving Guy Bottrell in his Toyota Etios, and just behind him in the Volkswagen Polo, RC Potgieter was also incident-free. But Chris Kutzer and Ashley Haig-Smith lost time overtaking the struggling Richard Leek and Andrew Hine. Leek's engine management issue made the numerous low-speed corners of stage 2 a nightmare, while Hine broke a side shaft pulling off the line, crippling his car with drive in one wheel only.
Yeah, just we had a reasonable first stage, but now our third corner in the second stage we broke a CV. So I only had drive on one wheel. Lucky we didn't stop, because I think if we had stopped we wouldn't have carried on. So I'm happy to be here, and we'll fix it and see if we can get back in now.
The same issue befell Paulus Franken in his Volkswagen Polo, but unlike Hine, he couldn't get his car rolling once the side shaft sheared off. The mechanical failure put Franken out of the rally for the day and meant he could only return as a Super Rally competitor on day 2.
Unfortunately, at the start of stage 2 we broke a side shaft, which puts us out of contention for day 1. Luckily we could still compete under Super Rally regulations on day 2, so we got the car fixed and we'll be back tomorrow.
After 2 stages of the VW Rally, Leroy Poulter and Guy Bottrell had established 10 and 13 second leads respectively. For stage 3, the cars returned to the 11.6 kilometre route which set the scene for the opening stage. Poulter emerged victorious again over de Villiers and van der Walt, while in the S1600 class, Bottrell was 3 seconds faster than Potgieter and 6 seconds faster than Leek. Haig-Smith's issues from stage 1 saw him withdraw from the VW Rally on the stage. Stage 4, the VW Rally, saw the cars return to the Algoa Rally Club's tracks around the PE Oval for the spectacular head-to-head showdown of the first Super Special stage. The roar of the S2000s is always appreciated in the close confines of the Super Special stages. De Villiers was liberal in his use of the road verge, and Poulter defeated him by 5 seconds. In the second S2000 battle, it was Ernie van der Walt who emerged victorious over Luke Buerter, and in so doing, claimed second position on the stage. The S1600s, though not as loud, provided a closer battle for stage honours than the bigger cars. Under 2 seconds separated Coetzee in first from Potgieter in fourth. Chris Coetzee surprised Guy Bottrell by claiming stage victory during his duel with Richard Leek, whilst the fast and flowing route didn't tax Leek's engine mapping issues as much as the earlier stages had. The rapid drive by Coetzee put him level on time with Leek in third position in the S1600 class, whilst Bottrell had a 16.3 second lead on Potgieter. For the night stage, the VW Rally moved to the Bay West Mall in Port Elizabeth. The course along gravel roads through undeveloped veld and the tarmac slip roads of the mall attracted rally fans in their droves, despite the cold weather. First out on course in a squealing of tyres was the rally leader Leroy Poulter. He put on a fine display of car control around the hairpin bend filled course to claim stage victory. Pipping the fan favourite Janelle de Villiers to second was the Vecto Toyota of Ernie van der Walt, whilst Luke Boerter rounded out the S2000s in fourth. The S1600s were led out by Guy Bottrell, who also clocked the fastest time in the class for stage 5, followed by Leek and Hein. Bottrell finished the first day of the VW Rally in the lead, followed by Potgieter in second, Leek in third, Coetzee in fourth and Smallberger in fifth in the class.
It was lekker, but it was difficult. My lights didn't work well, so I struggled a little bit to see, but it was lekker. It's lekker stage, yeah.
With the cars in Park Ferme for the night in the Dunlop service zone, this is how the leaderboard was shaping up. On the iconic long and rough roads of day 2 of the VW Rally, the Dunlop tyres on the rally cars were working overtime. But with only a limited number allowed per car per season, tyre management is essential.
ATS Motorsport with Dunlop South Africa supply the tyres to the National Rally Championship. We have been involved with supplying the tyres for the last, let's say, 14 years to the championship. And all the cars basically use the same pattern of tyre for dry gravel, and then there's a wet option as well for the 1600 class. And then we also do sort of spot checks at the end of the stage where we just check generally the tyre wear, make sure everything is okay. If we sometimes pick up things, we can inform the teams that we've seen something or a little damage or something strange. So it's just a general check that we do after each stage on all the cars.
Stage 6 of the VW Rally saw the rally head out to the Longmoor Forest. The day is a nervously anticipated one for the drivers and navigators, as the routes are fast and fun, but also long and technical, so maximum concentration is required at all times. Disaster struck for George Smallberger on the liaison when his Shield Car Care VW pulled up with a differential problem en route to the start. Poulter and de Villiers clocked the same time in the S2000 class, but both had their issues. In the S1600 class, Bottrell was 5 seconds faster than Potgieter and 7 faster than Franken, who'd returned as a Super Rally contestant. The rough roads and near sheer precipices in places made the going tough for even the most skilled of drivers. De Villiers lost time with a few wheels off the road incidents. But the most spectacular moment of the stage was Poulter's 360-degree spin after clipping an embankment. Fortunately for him and Elvin Coetzee, their car came to a rest on its wheels and facing in the right direction. Perhaps the spin unsettled Poulter or caused the slow puncture, he later reported, but either way, de Villiers drove to his first stage victory at the VW Rally on stage 7. Poulter finished the stage in second, while Van der Walt was third ahead of Boerter, who was erring on the side of caution rather than risk a crash or damage to the car on the rocky roads.
We lost a little bit of unnecessary time yesterday, so I would have expected to be about 10 seconds behind Leroy, but we had some issues, so we lost some unnecessary time. But anyway, we'll try and keep the pressure on. We're 20 seconds behind. These stages are long. There's a lot of stages to come, so we'll try and push as hard as we can and see how it goes. It's great stages today to drive. You just got to be very brave in some places, but no, it's great fun. The first stage today was very nice.
For the smaller S1600 cars, the long stages were a war of attrition.
So far it's going pretty good. The stages were quite rough this last run just before service, so we just got to make sure we look after the car. there's some big rocks lurking in places that you don't want them to be. So, but we're going well. We're preserving the car, and the next 2 loops are quite big, some long kilometers in the forest and rocky. So we just got to make sure that we don't damage the car and just keep our pace up. I know we pulled a bit of time on AC there. Had a problem with his gearbox apparently. But yeah, it's just it's difficult to manage the pace and make sure we get the car to the end.
RC Potgieter fought back time from Guy Bottrell, whilst Paulus Franken showed impressive speed to stop the clock with the 3rd fastest time on the stage. The ever-consistent Andrew Hine looked to be setting himself up for a charge up the leaderboard, with the longer stages still to come. The 26-kilometre Stage 8 was the first of the long stages of the VW Rally, and the mileage across the rapidly deteriorating roads was starting to tell. Poulter set out to regain the time he'd lost on the previous stage to de Villiers and extended his lead by a further 9 seconds. Van der Walt was a further 7 seconds slower.
Yeah, the last 2, unfortunately the first one out of service, the last service, we went off a little bit and got a slow puncture, so we lost a little bit of time there. But the following one was pretty good, still very slippery in the front, a lot of loose stones all over the place. So it's difficult to try and push as hard as you want to. Hopefully now the road will be a lot cleaner and we can push on harder.
Bottrell, Franken, Potgieter and Kutzer brought their cars to the end of the stage without issues. But Leek's brakes gave out with 10 kilometres to go, forcing him to coast the rest of the stage, whilst Hine narrowly avoided disaster when his tie rod failed, nearly sending his Volkswagen Polo off a cliff.
Yeah, geez, we picked a bad spot to break down, but it looks like we've got a broken tie rod in. So that's it for us. Unlucky yesterday after the drive shot, we thought we'd give it a go, but it's not our rally.
With 4 stages remaining, Poulter and Bottrell's leads were growing, but not secure. For the 9th stage of the VW Rally, the cars returned to the scene of stage 7. On the second time of asking, Bottrell took 14 seconds off his previous attempt and in so doing won the stage. Behind him, Franken and Potgieter also improved their times as they finished 2nd and 3rd. In 4th, Leek appeared to be coming to grips with his underperforming car. The route clearly favoured de Villiers' driving style as he again took time out of the sister Toyota piloted by Poulter. Both de Villiers and Poulter clocked faster times on the stage the second time around, whilst Van der Walt also reduced his previous time by 12 seconds. In the final S2000 car, Luke Buerter noticed a marked decrease in drive from his Ford Fiesta accelerating off the start line. The issue forced him to stop mid-stage, where he discovered the right-hand rear drive shaft had failed. Though he could have continued with two-wheel drive, Buerter decided to spare the car further damage and withdraw from the VW Rally at the Dunlop service zone. Stage 10 was a challenging 33-kilometre test of endurance. It was a case of what might have been for Paulus Franken and Pierre Arries in their Volkswagen Polo as they comprehensively won the stage from Bottrell. Potgieter rallied his VW to 3rd on the stage, while Leek claimed 4th and in so doing overtook Kutzer on the overall timesheet. In the S2000 class, Poulter was oblivious to the drama that would unfold behind him as he drove to his 7th stage victory at the rally. De Villiers had been pushing hard to make up time on his teammate, but a sharp stone, perhaps thrown up by Poulter's car, put an end to his hopes. A savage sidewall puncture left De Villiers nursing the car for 10 kilometres on its rim. The only Van der Walt Toyota Yaris suffered greater misfortune when it clipped an embankment on the inside of a corner, was shunted wide and ended up in a deep ditch. With no way out, Van der Walt and co-driver Gerard Snyman could do nothing but wait for assistance to arrive from the Dunlop service zone.
I made a mistake into the corner, I apexed too early, and then obviously it just pushed me out, and I went into the ditch, and then we almost rolled, so I tried to drive it out, and we got stuck, and then we had to stop. We can't get it out, so that's us over.
Heading out of the Dunlop service zone for the final time, only the Toyota Gazoo racing vehicles remained to contest for VW Rally victory. The penultimate stage of the VW Rally was the longest stage of not only the rally, but of the entire season. Despite a comfortable lead, Poulter could not drive conservatively, with a hard-charging De Villiers on his heels. The remaining S2000s were separated by only 7/10 of a second over the 42-kilometre course, with De Villiers taking the stage honours.
The next stage is the longest stage of the rally, and I think even of the year. So yeah, it's, anything can happen in that long stage. The car's feeling good. It's just the gearbox is a bit scratchy, so we just got to make sure we take it easy on the gearbox, and then we'll get through. And then the next stage after that's a nice short one. So if we get through the long one, and then I think we're nearly home dry. So we just got to make sure we look after that gearbox, and we'll be through.
Yeah, yes, the stage is hectic. It's really bad. So we must just keep the car on the road now and finish. That's the most important thing. We're laying second, so just finished.
In the S1600 class, Guy Bottrell stamped his authority on the rally with another dominant drive. His stage win underlined that he had speed on tap and could have pushed harder had the competition required. Behind Bottrell, Franken continued his strong showing on day 2, hoping to maximise the half points he'd earned as a Super Rally competitor. Potgieter rounded out the stage in 3rd. For the final stage of the Volkswagen Rally, the action returned to the PE Oval for the 2nd Super Rally stage. With just over 2 kilometres to navigate, only a crash or mechanical failure could upset the overall results. Fortunately, everyone kept it rubber side down. Poulter claimed his 5th successive victory in this year's South African National Rally Championships by winning the final stage in the S2000 class. In the S1600s, Richard Leek found some much-needed pace a little too late to claim stage victory, which secured him 3rd in the VW Rally. RC Potgieter practically cruised round for 5th on the stage, but 2nd overall, whilst Guy Bottrell did enough to claim his 5th rally victory of 2016. On the S1600 podium, it was Guy Bottrell and Simon Vasey-Lyle in their Toyota Etios, RC Potgieter and Tommy Dutoy in their Volkswagen Polo, and Richard Leek and Henry Kuurne in the Ford Fiesta.
Yes, a perfect start. Good for the scorebooks. It's really also good for our championship. It's looking really good. But yeah, rally is a crazy thing, so we just got to make sure we keep on doing our maintenance properly, and we don't have any mechanical failure, and score the necessary points that we need to do to hopefully win the championship or finish quite high up. But yeah, this was a fantastic rally. The roads were really beautiful. It's a pleasure racing in PE, and Volkswagen put on a good show and put a lot of effort into this fantastic rally.
The S2000 podium was dominated by the Toyota Gazoo racing vehicles of Leroy Poulter and Elvin Coetzee, and Janelle De Villiers and Carolyn Swan.
Yeah, obviously it's a nice one to come and win. You know, we won this last year, and we really pushed hard and spent a lot of time with our notes, Alvina and I, to get it right and to win. And you know, it's a big one, as I say, to win, and it just helps the championship a lot.
With Poulter and Bottrell both claiming victories, they moved to 64 points each in the race to be crowned 2016 SA National Rally Champions. With the curtain coming down on a tough Volkswagen Rally, the focus shifts to the Heidelberg Rally. The all-new Gauteng event takes place on the 19th and 20th of August. With none of the drivers having any experience on the routes, it could shake up the field. But with only 3 rallies left, will anyone be able to catch Guy Bottrell and Leroy Poulter? Only time will tell. This program is dedicated to the memory of multiple rally class champion Gugu Zulu. Gugu tragically passed away 2 days after the Volkswagen Rally whilst climbing Mount Kilimanjaro with his wife Tetseho as part of the Trek for Mandela campaign. Gugu's infectious smile and gracious nature will be missed by the many whose lives he touched. Our thoughts are with Tetseho, Lelotu and the Zulu family. Rest in peace, Gugu, forever remembered as the fastest brother in Africa.